Kia ora whānau.
Kia ora.
Welcome to Next Level's video on digging deeper into self-limiting beliefs. So, yes, we teach about the belief cycle as we know it. It's a force of nature that unconsciously drives our beliefs, negatively or positively, which then drives our perception, that becomes our reality, and that then makes us to act in a certain way. It's almost impossible to break the belief cycle, as this is the very force of nature that establishes our beliefs. So instead, we teach how to use it, to use the belief cycle to create new positive beliefs, therefore allowing us to change the way we operate within our environment. So now we dig deeper and we add a little bit more background for you.
Yeah. So what do we know about self-limiting beliefs? That basically any belief which is holding you back from experience of the freedom to be your true, authentic self. What we know is society is held back by self-limiting beliefs which prevent us from expanding our thinking, understanding and our perception. Our view of the world is hugely impacted by the beliefs either passed down or created by ourselves through our lifetime experience and a need to survive, really. This perception drives our actions. So our reality impacts all aspects of ourselves. It affects us mentally, spiritually, physically and emotionally. And because of this, it drives the way that we behave. So the way we behave then attracts a response. Depending on what that response is, it can either reinforce an existing belief or it can help to create a new belief, which then impacts the way we think and feel, and this cycle continues, which is why we call it a belief cycle. So if we're to make improvements to ourselves and the world around us, we need to first change our mindset to make new positive beliefs.
That's right, yeah. So we believe that changing our mindset starts with changing our perception.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Through this, then making our thoughts conscious and having an understanding of emotions attached to those thoughts. Then we can start to change our perception, which then changes our reality. And here's how we do this. We first start by making the belief cycle conscious. So what does that mean?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. So we identify those core beliefs and create an understanding for each. Then with thoughts, you may not have realized, but each self-limiting belief comes with predetermined thoughts. And then what we've done is we've recorded each of those thoughts on our website. So you would have may go to there to read about these. Yeah, and by reading these and resonating with each of those thoughts, then gives you an understanding of where they're coming from. This is actually the start of making the unconscious conscious. So that's what we mean. Now with emotions, add that into the
mix.
Yeah, into the mix. So each thought has an emotional response. And while it's unconscious, the emotions will simply just follow the flow of the predetermined thoughts, often taking over, making you feel like you have no control over your emotions. Yeah, really, really tough.
Yeah.
But by understanding this, we now have made our emotions conscious. How cool is that? Yeah, so making the belief cycle conscious is truly powerful. We teach you how to manipulate both thoughts and emotions to then change your mindset to then create new beliefs. So we've discussed our thoughts and our emotions make our perception, and all that we know, our perception becomes our reality. This is why it feels like we live in different realities, because in effect we do. We're all shaped by differing self-limiting beliefs. Therefore, our perceptions are different, meaning our realities are different, and they're different to us. Yeah.
So how do you get them? So I touched on it briefly before. They're either through your experience, so that's either your actual physical experience or those that have been drummed into you by others, that you've watched or learnt by others doing things and the reactions they get. Or they can be passed down through your whakapapa or your ancestors, passed down through your DNA. So quite often, beliefs are passed from generation to generation to generation, and you're pretty much born into them.
That's right.
Yeah. So how do they impact you? You can probably all know how these things impact you. They get into your head and they make you think it's reality, when in actual fact it's a story. It's a story that you've attached reality to. They have a feeling attached to them, so that makes you feel like it's reality because you're feeling it in the moment. It's very real to you, regardless of whether the belief's real or not. You're still feeling it, so it's very real. It's your reality. They make you believe in a fictional story rather than reality, so it's just constantly there, and because you feel it, you think certain things, it does become your reality.
And we know because we go through this as well. We're human.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they make you behave in a way that isn't beneficial for you or maybe not for others. These are self-limiting beliefs we're talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've all behaved like that. Sometimes you recognise it and sometimes you don't. Some of the unconscious ones you don't recognise. Even some of the unconscious ones you do recognise. You go into a situation, you react a certain way and you go, why did I do that? God, that was an overreaction or whatever. But it's these beliefs that are driving your reaction. And they stop you from being the best version of yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the main thing.
And we all want to be the best version of ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on top of that, they're often intertwined. So, you think of a basket full of knotted wool. Or string or whatever, as you slowly start to unravel each one, each self-limiting belief, you understand that there's another one there that's impacted that one, that's driven that belief, and then, that's where this belief has come from because there's another one sitting underneath it. So they're kind of really intertwined, and it can take a lot of time to work through that and unravel that. Yeah.
So worthiness and trust often
together.
Yeah.
So how do you know if they've been released? It doesn't happen overnight. Like I just said, it can take a lot of time to work through that. But initially, you will feel a new sense of freedom. It's quite hard to describe. Changing your belief system really does give you a sense of freedom. You'll notice you'll catch yourself in the thought and consciously change that thought. This is so cool. So you'll still, initially you'll still have the thought because the belief, can stay in you like a memory. It can take time to change a habit and a memory. So the thought will still come up. I don't know. I can't even think of one. What's one we can think of? Why is that person wearing pajamas at the supermarket? I don't know. You'll catch yourself in a thought of, lazy, they didn't get changed, to, you'll catch it. That's a self-limiting belief. No, I'm not having that anymore.
Yeah, that's judgment.
That's
Who am I
judgment.
to judge?
That's right.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge why they're wearing pajamas? Who cares why they're wearing pajamas? Yeah. So you'll also notice your perception change around you and about yourself and about others. So that was a good example there,
Yeah, if I think about another example is, you may have a discussion, a disagreement, and instead of going, that person, it's all their fault, you might think about, why, what's going on for me?
Yeah.
Why am I reacting in a way to that disagreement?
And you even notice, we had an example just yesterday the day before, where something happened in our whānau, in our family, and we kind of looked at it and we were a bit hurt, and we stood back and went, actually, I now I don't feel like engaging.
That's right.
But really, we went, hang on a minute. If we react that way, we're reinforcing their belief of whatever it is. We need to react differently and engage differently. Yeah, So you do catch yourself thinking about it, about yourself and others.
And it truly is powerful.
Yeah, really is.
Because then it can change that hurt to an understanding.
And it can change their behaviour because you react differently. So you don't reinforce that old belief of theirs.
That's right.
So then they start to react differently. What's another way it can impact you? You may experience a change in your inner circle or whānau, or so your friends and family, that supports your new perception and your beliefs, your newfound sense of freedom. People around you will start reacting differently, more positively towards you.
That's right.
Yeah. It really, it's quite amazing. And that's why we call this course Finding Freedom.
Yeah.
Well, we run a course called Finding Freedom.
Yeah.
Because it really is about finding freedom.
So yeah, and it's all about attracting a different response as well. So, and of course that's what you're doing when you change your mindset, to change your perception, to change the way you behave. The reaction to your response is different. And so therefore changing your environment.
Yeah. And so then that helps reinforce your new belief, your new positive belief, rather than that self-limiting belief that you had. Yeah. So over time, you'll ultimately look at your reactions and the reactions of others and want to understand what has triggered that response, which was that example we just gave. And in doing so, you'll come to realise the power of making the belief cycle conscious. It's hugely powerful. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video on digging deeper a little bit into self-limiting beliefs. And we will catch you later.
Ka kite.